Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back in the Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today, taking a look at another figure from the Acolyte. It is a more recent release. It is the Jedi Master, Venestra Rwoh. Um, Interesting character. She exists in some of the books and comics from earlier on in the timeline, and then she's a lot older in the Acolyte. It was kind of cool seeing her kind of navigate some of the political aspects of the Jedi and the Senate and whatnot in the show, even though she was kind of a bitch. But um, cool enough design. I saw her at GameStop. I decided to pick her up, and it's a pretty cool figure. I am actually decently impressed with it. So I guess let's get into it. So she is I think she's the same species as like Luminara and Dooley. I want to say it's Miraluka. I don't know off the top of my head if I'm remembering that name of that species right. But it's always nice to get more alien characters on the shelf, especially as Jedi. Just adds some nice uniqueness and variety to the display. The figure is actually majority new pieces, but there is one bit of significant reuse, which doesn't bother me, but it is there. But the head sculpt is new, obviously, and I think they actually really nailed the likeness here. Aside from the print being maybe slightly glossy, I think it looks pretty much just like she did in the show. I'm pretty impressed with this head sculpt. They did a really good job. The printing's nice and clean, looks pretty nice and realistic. The tattoo on her head there looks pretty good, although it's a little off kilter, which I'm just noticing now. Not by much, but it is a little bit. But it does look really nice, I won't lie. I like the white robes with the gold around the collar there. I wish we'd get more High Republic Jedi in their like nice robes instead of their mission robes. Hopefully, maybe we will at some point. I'd love to see like a Stellan Geos from the comics and novels. But the upper sleeves of her outfit are pretty interesting looking. The entire outfit has this kind of lined texture to it. You have the belt here, which is nice and has some decent paint apps to it. They did opt for a plastic lower robe or skirt or whatever. Um, it's gonna be up to you. It does hinder decent amount of articulation, and usually I don't really like that with Jedi, where they're supposed to be dynamic characters, and I would like soft goods so that it doesn't look too weird when you articulate them in different dynamic posing. But then at the same time, the plastic does look a lot better from an aesthetic standpoint, so it's kind of pick your poison, and it's kind of up to you whether that bothers you that much or not. But there are cuts all the way up the sides so they can get some articulation. And the bit of reuse is actually the legs. I'm pretty sure these are the Asajj Ventress legs. They reuse these a lot. I think they work fine for this figure. You know, they don't see them. And I imagine the stuff she was wearing underneath were probably similar. It's believable. So that doesn't bother me. You don't really see them anyways, unless you're going to have like crazy poses going on, which I doubt. But yeah, it doesn't bother me. So I think it works pretty good for some reuse to save on some budget there. But yeah, I mean, it's not like a whole lot to talk about. The design isn't like crazy complex. It's just a nice looking figure that I think is pretty accurate to the source material. Articulation wise, you got a dumbbell joint at the base of the head as well as the base of the neck. You don't get a ton of movement. She just look down a bit, looks up a little bit, nothing too crazy. You do have a bit of pivot, not much. I might have the neck kind of not turned the right way. I'll fix it later maybe. There is a butterfly joint there, and it moves pretty decently for Black Series. And then hinge joint, you can move the arms up, move them down. They are kind of clicky though, and they rotate. Single hinge at the elbow that moves pretty deeply actually. Rotation there, and then the wrists have a swivel. The right hand has an up and down hinge joint, and so does the left hand as well. There is a torso ball joint that, you know, goes back just a bit, doesn't really crunch forward too much. A bit of pivot and then rotation. Then the hips, you do have the ball joints, they will kick out. You can kick them forward, but that classic robe or skirt is going to get in the way. Because these are older legs, she does have a swivel cut at the thigh, although they work pretty well on these legs because of the wrap and detail. It just works. Single hinges at the knees that go a bit past 90, and then hinges at the ankles that go up, they go down, and they rock for ankle pivot. So pretty well articulated. Just you're going to have some hindrances in the legs, mainly because of that plastic robe. So it's up to you if that kind of bothers you or not. In terms of accessories, she's got the same standard loadout that pretty much all the as Acolyte Jedi have. She does come with a soft goods robe. Hers is a bit more unique though because hers doesn't have sleeves, so that's kind of a nice little change of pace from the normal Jedi robe. And she does have a hood that's stitched down similar to like the cloaks that came with the Balin Skull and Shinhati exclusives, where they stitch down the edges to have it to pull down and look like it's draping more naturally over the head. And I think it looks quite good. Looks pretty natural over her head, doesn't look too goofy, so I really like that a lot. I think they did a good job on this. The material feels decently, or of decent quality, so that's nice. And then, if I can understand, she does come with her lightsaber. She is a purple bladed wielding character, which is also appealing for some variety on the shelf. The hilt looks nice with a little bit of gold paint there. You can remove the blade and put the hilt on her belt if you want. That looks fine, but I am going to be having her holding the saber. One accessory I wish they would have included is that Venestra is one of the few characters, and maybe the only person in like the current canon, that actually uses a light whip. Her lightsaber can be either a normal blade or it can be a whip, and it would have been cool if they included a blade piece that was like twirly or twirled around and like had bends in it to make it look like it was in the whip configuration. I think that would have been super cool. They didn't do that, which is fine, I guess, but it would have made this figure a lot more interesting and maybe a bit more appealing for some people to pick up. But still, pretty cool looking figure. When you have the robe on, the lightsaber thing, I'm pretty impressed with how it looks. But I think not much else to say except for to move on to comparisons. So just for some other High Republic Jedi from the Acolyte, here she is with Venestra, or not Venestra, here she is with Indara. And then here she is with Sol. These are the only other two I have. But I think they scale pretty well and look pretty nice together. A nice bit of variety here too. So that's cool. I like that. So overall, I do think this is actually a pretty solid figure. Would I recommend buying it at full price? I don't know. I don't regret buying it. I do kind of wish I maybe would have waited for a sale because I doubt this figure is going to sell like crazy. None of the Acolyte figures are, so you can probably get this on sale. So I would say definitely recommend picking her up, even if you're not like a big Acolyte fan, but just as another kind of unique, cool Jedi to have in the collection, I recommend picking her up. I would just wait for a sale. Anyways, that is pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.